There is no sound.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this last intensive weekend of the boot camp for the month of February and in March. My name is Eddie. I've been practicing Ramashram Satsang for 14 years. I was looking for a simple system of inner yoga that was very effective and that would work with my schedule. And I found that in Ramashram Satsang, and I've been very satisfied as of today. So the next slide you have is the infographic. So this infographic is intended to familiarize you with some of the basic and important concepts and practices and structure relevant to satsang and this workshop. The first element is satsang. And satsang is the method that we use to achieve peace, light, and love in our lives. It's made up of two words, sat and sang. Sat means positive energy, and sang means to be in the company or presence of. So the word satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is the core, basically, of the satsang method that we use. It is the point at which we turn inward and begin our journey towards the final state, or what we call nirvana. Next is inner orientation. There are two types of satsang. There's outer satsang and inner satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting. The satsang that we practice is an inner satsang, and it consists of meditating in silence. The next element is group sessions. Group sessions, compared to solo sessions, have the benefit of providing the meditator or experience, providing the meditator with a deeper sense of focus, and can expedite their path along their personal progress to the end goal. The next element is joy and inner happiness. Joy is the sort of the ultimate goal of yoga, whereas inner happiness are progressive steps to that final goal. Joy is continuously there, and inner happiness is essentially temporal. So it's not everlasting, whereas joy is, and it's a choice that we make to be joyous or not. The next is the agenda. There are three sessions involved in this workshop. The first is the informative session, where it consists of a lecture about satsang, the founder, or some main topic. The second is the practice session, where we'll learn how to meditate, followed by a meditation period. That'll last 40 minutes. And then lastly, there's the interactive session, where there's a question and answer or a panel discussion. The workshop theme for today is going to be yoga and satsang. And we'll learn more about that as we go along through this seminar. Okay, so next slide. So I'd like to introduce our facilitator for this workshop. This workshop basically was intended to teach attendees how to practice satsang so that they may achieve peace, light, and love in their lives. Guru Maharaj established Ramashram Satsang some years ago, 1930s or so that people could learn how to achieve peace, light, and love in their lives. Our facilitator today will teach us more about that. He has 40 years of satsang experience, and he is the grandson of Guru Maharaj. He was raised into a Satsang family where they practice the Satsang method that you will learn today. He personally witnessed their transformation into enlightened beings whose lives were filled with peace, light, and love. Upon arriving in the United States, he began conducting satsang for satsangees. Uh, During around 2005, he started online satsang, and during the recent pandemic, online satsang brought together people from around the world, including the remote regions of India. During the online satsangs, people were able to charge their dwellings with positive energy morning and evening, and while they were practicing satsang. He is an excellent choice for facilitator because he has a genuine interest in teaching all of those who want to learn, regardless of their religious beliefs, their race, or their caste. Currently, he facilitates satsangs throughout the United States and India while maintaining his duties as a husband, father, and an IT executive. Please join me now in welcoming Mr. or brother Sanjeev Kumar.
Thanks, Eddie. So, welcome everyone. Glad to be here. It's these immersive weekends. I think the goal is that we all just immerse ourselves with positive energy. And Guru Maharaj, you know, pretty much laid out a structure uh, through which that becomes a little more streamlined and the practice can get deeper. Um, he thought about all aspects like how do you transition into meditation, how to meditate. Um, uh, and the guidance is abundant. Um, and what I thought was that how he described satsang and demonstrated it and lived it. Um, how should we, uh, you know, bring this about in a way that it's palatable, digestible, and that is where I came with those four topics: inner peace, inner states, manifesting transcendental energy, and the yoga philosophy. And uh, in those backdrops, we can describe satsang as Guru Maharaj, you know, uh, like basically it has a lot of common elements, with other methods, but then there are these unique aspects. So with those four backdrops, I think those common elements can come out, as well as what's unique, what's, you know, how he has pulled uh, all the good things together so that it's simple yet powerful, and works for you know not just one set of people, but a far broader set of um, folks. And today, actually, this immersive weekend, I think we will talk about one of my most um, I really love this model of 5 steps, 5 steps to nirvana. We can call it the map of internal states. Um, there are so many things that I can describe through this one model. Um, I think more than 50% of the concepts that I have learned, I can uh, describe in this, uh, backdrop of these 5 steps. Um, so, I was kind of thinking like we have been talking about this for quite some time. So, some of the things. So, one, um, it describes vertical, um, upward progress, how we interact with the world. So whatever happens in the outer world, how you react is described by each of the realms. Now, you can also simplify this a little further. So if we look at the two lower realms, realm of the world and realm of life, they pretty much describe, our orientation internally and otherwise, um, towards more materialistic things, more physical things, very, you know, uh, what I see is it approach. Um, so, so the physical aspects are far more important. Everything else is secondary. Uh, the This model is not on scale. So the third realm is probably one of the deepest and broadest, and longest realm. Uh, that's our inner world. So, as opposed to the outer world, which is the world outside, we have a world inside made up of our thoughts and feelings and the way we react. And so, all that internal world, made up of our thoughts primarily, um, is, depicted by the third realm. And then beyond the thought, the concept of deep I, the concept of, uh, you know, uh, how our brain functions, take us to the deeper meanings, the purpose of life, more peaceful life, the how we are interconnected with each other. All that becomes, front and center, uh, above that. So that's the top two realms. So you can also describe it that way. Um, One other thing that, there was an example that Guru Maharaj, uh, talks about, and say a person started and he was deep in the desert somewhere. So he took a camel, maybe today it'll be a 4x4. So you take, and then he came to a river, and then you have to take a boat, and then you would take a train, and then you take a car. So that's also one of the aspects of this, um, you know 5-step journey. So you have these milestones. uh, you know in the ancient times, they describe this in a way that the method that you were using to progress yourself would change, and that's important. So, for example, you know, what happens, like, so, realm of the world, basically it's the lack of any, uh, you will focus, your progress is more about materialistic things. But then once you go to the second realm, you are now doing things, and that's the key there, that any activity that gives you peace, quiet, calmness. The realm of life is about action, activities, and things that will give you, uh, you know, uh, even higher awareness, higher consciousness, but through some activity. So it could be, uh, you know, go to a service, you you know, listen to the choir, listen to devotional songs, you listen to meditative music, you chant something. You know, activity is the key. So there is bodily action, that's your primary method. That also gives you, so people call that meditation. That's also an activity which gives you peace, calm, and quiet. But then when you get to the top of uh, the second realm, now you have taken that activity to slightly higher level. Now what happens is that that activity actually has started affecting your mind, in the sense that the thought processes. So, through that activity, if I chant repetitively over and over and over, um, that starts affecting my thought processes. That slows down, or, you know, uh, better, because of the positive energy, because of the effect, more lighter, brighter, and you know, peaceful thoughts are appearing. You are getting calmer. So that's what happens at the top of the second realm, and then there you go move into the uh, second method, where the focus is, um, you know, moving from activity to actually going into more silent, more deeper meditation, where you lose the activity and you continue the calm. And that is where, uh, you know, you enter the second phase of meditation, which is primarily where we start. You know, so there are satsangs where, you know, devotional songs and group kirtan is like one of them. I mean, if you go to ISKCON temple, for example, uh, you know, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, that chant itself takes them to the higher levels. So first you start with that activity, then you get into deeper meditation. We focus more on the deeper meditation, start there, the realm of the mind. So there you know, the method turns into, how do we actually, you know, um, so we use that activity. For example, you know, there is music or there is prayer, and that takes you into a deeper meditation. So that uh, quietness of your mind. So you lose that activity and you are now focused more on quietening the mind. Uh, you know, and that is the second phase of meditation, where uh, you know, you started with the meditation that helped you, and now you are getting deeper, you know, just controlling the mind. Now, at the top of the third realm, what happens is that your mind has now become more controlled, and it has become more calmer, and it has evolved into a more, you know, quote unquote, positive entity for you. Now comes the time when that the result of that is that your brain functions, which were dormant, now open up. So the method there is that now I can perceive the, you know, the divine, perceive uh, the you know, transcendental energy in a whole new way, so as to that in this new light I see the world differently. So now you have entered the third phase, where the the just it's like you know, the Indian scriptures talk about the third eye, where you have open up. So I was actually Guru Maharaj's, you know, um, one of the uh, y- you know, Panditji Maharaj, Pandit Mihilal ji, he actually took Guru Maharaj's message and traveled throughout India. And he also, a lot of discourses, a lot of books. So I just got hold of one where he talks about this fourth realm in a very simple. So another thing about Guru Maharaj and Dada Guru Maharaj, his guru, or people who followed him, uh, simplicity. So you know, here are two things he talks about the fourth realm. He says that, for example, one desires to get a beautiful thing belonging to someone else and plans ways and means to get it. He thinks of stealing or getting it by hook or crook. So, in the lower realms, he may say, okay, because the fear of punishment or getting exposed, uh, and all those things might drive him away from that. But once you get to the realm of knowledge, um, you know, uh, like he would realize that um, this is not good because it harms other people, harms my peace, affects my peace, and so on and so forth. So there is a mindset change, or the perception change that comes about. Um, so, um, so anyway, he talks a little more about that. But what I found very fascinating was that he says that the knowledge that we are talking about here in the fourth realm is not something that you learn in school necessarily. So what he says is that an ordinary person or an illiterate person can also achieve that knowledge. And interesting, isn't it? So this is like just a, a state that you achieve. Um, So he talks about, like, let's say there is a small family, right? And the father, mother, wife, daughter, sons, and this person, the father, he very nicely and properly deals with all of them. His parents, speaks well with them, has love and affection for wife and children, and he would forgive any mistakes committed by them, and he will take full precaution to keep them happy, safe, etc. But then let's turn to how he behaves with his neighbor, and he is completely opposite there, and he has no consideration for them. And this is certainly not higher knowledge. And in fact, this behavior, um, when you generalize this a little more, understanding that how we are connected, understanding that, you know, this not having empathy, how that affects your internal peace, and so on and so forth. Um, that's the knowledge here. So I just, you know, read this one page and found that, like, how fascinating this is. This, when we think about knowledge, we always feel that, it's something that we'll have to, read, and that definitely helps. There is no doubt. but this is something that you achieve within, uh, through, simply progressing, on this vertical path, um, and getting to this point, meditatively speaking. And yeah, that's just, and the same thing. So once you go to the top of this realm, now you are in the know. And that is when you come to the final frontier. And there were questions about, like, is there a rope somebody else would throw for you? Is that how it works? But what happens here, actually, Guru Maharaj describes this, and I am, um, so I think I put my notes somewhere else. So uh, he is describing the realm of love is where, um, it's an amazing place where you just, so uh, you know from what I remember, he quotes Kabir Dasji, who was a sage in India, who um, also followed very similar. The practice was probably slightly different, but the thought processes were very similar. So Guru Maharaj quotes him again and again and again. And one of the descriptions he gives of the fifth realm is just incredible. I'll probably bring it in the next session, which is at 2:30 Eastern. Um, it talks about, you know, there that place, this land is such that there is always an amazing, like, uh, this realm of love. So there is love everywhere. So you don't have the sun and the moon and the stars, but there is this transcendental light. So, so he describes there is light, but it's different than the sun and the moon and the stars. Then he also describes that there is, um, you know, there are lots of sounds, but there are no music instruments. Um, there is, so we always think of, you know, uh, like like if we think about Christ, if we think about Mother Mary or Buddha, or we think about Krishna more as a person, but he says the energy, it's energy, it's the energy form. So there is no form, so there is no line, there is no, um, uh, you cannot see uh, the form, or you know uh, but you feel the presence. So he I think I'll bring some of those notes in the second session, but he just describes that this is a place where there is bliss, and there is presence, and there is light, but that is not because of the sun, moon, or stars. There is sounds, but there is no musical instrument. There is different types of, you know, uh, like shimmering, but not because of, again, you know, you can't see what's the source. So he kind of describes a state of inner being, just being in the blissful, peaceful, and full of, ocean of love. Um, and you know so Guru Maharaj says that you know um, get so enamored with it that you want to get completely, uh, you know you want to melt into this. And that is where, you know your ego comes in the way, because you don't want to dissolve yourself into something else. So while, you know the from limited to limitless, from being a physical entity to a completely universal energy, but going and melting into that requires that you lose your ego. And that is the biggest challenge that you face in the realm of love. And it's like, at one place, I think Guru Maharaj says that it's easier said than done. Nobody would lose the ego themselves. So that is where I think this other person, or the guide or guru, kind of helps. And that is kind of depicted as throwing the rope. Um, but yeah. So anyway, this is a fascinating model through which so many things, and we'll go through the two other sessions, 2:30 later today and 10 a.m. tomorrow. Um, we'll go over, um, various other aspects that can be described, like, you know, uh, so we'll talk more about this through the other two sessions as well. Anyway, so we'll you know take questions and interact after the meditation. But for now, let's practice. So, as Guru Maharaj prescribed it, you know, just um, a relaxed posture, so that body doesn't move while we meditate. Um, and think of this transcendental light in front of us. Keep eyes lightly closed so that the distraction is lessened. And so think of this transcendental light that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. If mind wanders away, bring it back, and you can do other things before or after. At this time, just focus on this light that's in front of us, that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. Let's start now. Okay. All right. So, so yeah, let's get into a little more interactive mode now. And if you put your video on, um, I'll put you on stage here, and and anybody who speaks would come on the speaking panel on the side anyway. So Luz, Eddie, Warren, um, Yuan, OG. So any questions? I think I would ask Anita ji and Eddie to talk a little bit, but if there are any questions to start with.
Good morning. No questions on my end. Just wanted to say hello, and that was extremely relaxing. Thank you.
It was good. Yeah, it was a good session already. Yeah. Yeah, glad that you're here. So yeah, Anita ji, would you talk a little bit about the benefits, or maybe Eddie, if you have any thoughts, whoever wants to go first.
Um, Hello, good morning. Namaskar, everyone. My name is Anita Bhardwaj. Um, so, talking about benefits, when we sit down and meditate to turn our minds, thoughts off and try to orient our thoughts inwards and hold that one thought of divine light, transcendental light entering our heart and visualize ourselves immersing in it. And that brings us a lot of benefits. And hopefully, the final goal would be to achieve that state of love that Sanjeev is talking about at top of that pyramid. Um, but as we go along, there are other benefits that we reap along the way. So a lot of those benefits are connected to the act of meditating. Um, So meditation has been shown to be beneficial in multiple ways. Of course, we can talk about the physical benefits, and those have been proven by science. When we meditate, sit down quietly, um, our heart rate drops, blood pressure drops. There's a lot of mental health benefits as well. We feel relaxed. Um, it helps our stress levels, helps anxiety. It has also been shown to help with depression, concentration levels, and also in decreasing physical pain. It's an important strategy. Um, when we are not actively thinking, our mind goes into what we call default mode. It has also been called mind wandering or monkey brain, where the mind flits from thought to thought. And most of these thoughts consist of um, past events, worrying about future events. And these thoughts are generally very destructive if we let our mind, wander in this way. It's also called the default mind network. And meditation has been proven to decrease this mind wander or this default mind network. Also, there are benefits with aging. So people have actually done imaging studies of the brain in what they call meditators and non-meditators, and they've compared um, the brain over time. With aging, they've shown that people who meditate retain more gray matter and have better brain connections, and certain parts of the brain um, become larger. So, so those are the physical benefits of the brain and for the physical benefits of meditating. And they are, of course, multiple and are proven by science as well. And then we have this other aspect of benefits that comes to us because we meditate on light, this transcendental light that we imagine as entering our hearts and spreading through our bodies. Um, So this brings with us an inner wisdom, and slowly but surely it changes us in a positive way, changes our behavior. Um, we become better individuals. We make better decisions, whether short term or long term. We respond rather than react to situations. It makes us better family members, better coworkers, better citizens, and hopefully improves our life experiences and improves experiences of those we come into contact with. So as we go along, hopefully we can continue on this path and accumulate all these other benefits as well. Sanjeev.
Yes. Um, Actually, I was reading up on some of the latest neuro research neuroscience is developing, and yeah, one of the things that you highlighted that meditation is the way you rest your brain. uh, that's a interesting part. People used to, so there was a theory that when you are resting physically, your brain is resting too, but that's not really true. So when you listen to music, when you even work out or do some repetitive work, and meditate, you are actually resting your brain. So that's, yeah. Um, Yuan, let's see if I can get. Hello there. So I believe this is the first time you've joined. I can't hear you. You'll have to unmute.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes, this is my first time. I'm longing for the meditation, some guideline for a long time, and I hope uh, this is the one I have been looking for a long time. Yes, this is my first time joining you, and I heard a lot of benefit in meditation, but um, I don't know yet.
No, no. This is really happy to have you here. Um, so, so you were able to meditate. How was your meditation? Were you able to concentrate?
I try to count the breathe in and out,
Hmm.
just but um, I haven't done it so that it hurt when I sit down, sit for the long time. Then I have to stand up in the middle of the meditation. But I hope it will. I will get used to it in the future.
Very good, very good. Yeah, practice, 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 right? So when you practice, so the way we meditate here, so you bring in music and then you think about light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body. So you're basically charging yourself, right? And the uplifting energy, the light, eliminates the heart. Were you able to do that?
No, it's I wasn't be able to concentrate. That's why I say, well, let me go back to the basic by counting the breathe in and out. Like
Okay.
I do 5 times in and 5 times out. That's what
Okay.
I I I start at the baby step. Put it that way.
Okay. So what we will do, I will set up a session one on one with you.
Okay.
We can we can try to look at things that can help you do this.
I really appreciate it. Really,
No
really
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think there are techniques to get mind to concentrate better. Right? So we'll work on that problem. Very, very, very glad that you're here. So Eddie, would you like to add some?
Yes, yes, I would. Um, just to sort of give an example of how the pyramid can be used to understand some concepts, I'd like to talk a little bit about the individual soul, or what is called the jiva. So the individual soul, the aim of the individual soul is to achieve peace and happiness. And it has a longing for peace and happiness, and it uses all of its energy to try to achieve or obtain peace and happiness. The problem is as it moved, the jiva moved from the high state of consciousness at the top of the pyramid into the realm of the world. It began to seek pleasure in material objects. Now, it began to accumulate those things with the hope that the more I accumulate, the more peace and joy that I can achieve. And so it went about its business acquiring um, uh, material things like houses and cars, or increasing wealth, marriage, having children. But none of these things brought the peace and joy that the individual soul sought. Now, there is sort of these short temporal periods of human life just are and she gets business and you're 60 years old that it's going to look 90 days that gets flat, right? So you're going to continue on the realm because you have this higher state of the power of nation to difference between between the intellect about so the intellect doesn't have any idea of the direction that the individual soul should go in because it can't really see the realm of bliss yet. And so, in that sense, it can't be an advisor to the individual soul. So, as a result, the individual soul sort of travels in the realm of the world as a blind traveler, following a path and a direction which is unknown to it. It is confused and it just continues on seeking the same pleasure in objects, and this thing never manifests. So it becomes disappointed and it feels sorrow. And Guru Maharaj said that, one of the things, or, one of the two things, anyways, that bring people to this satsang is that they suffer, from disappointment and sorrow, and then they look for a way out. And in that looking for a way out, they find Rama from satsang and they begin to practice. The other way is you may have a divine flash of inspiration or intuition that tells you that there's something greater, and you seek out Ram Ashram Satsang to provide that path through meditation, and you seek the benefits thereof, and you progress to a higher levels of consciousness until you reach a state of bliss. So this model is from what I saw, is a very good way to explain sort of the problem that the individual soul has now, being trapped in this physical world, looking for peace and happiness. It can't find it in material objects, and it can't find its way out. And that's exemplified here, by the realm of the world. But as we do meditate and we experience the benefits, and we become more pure and clean, and the sheaths become gradually removed, and we begin to get a glimpse of the higher aspects of consciousness, the realm of love, then we gain a sense of where we're supposed to move, what direction. And so instead of moving horizontally, like we talked about before, we start to move vertically. And now this is where we make our real progress, and then hopefully we'll reach the ultimate goal of nirvana. So that's all I wanted to contribute.
So interestingly, today morning I got a question from someone. So how can we check our ego? And to distinguish between if the ego is acting up, or when one is convinced about the things, and then you are standing up to your conviction. So how do you find that line where one can see clearly, so I don't know, I kind of said, like, there are several ways to do that. And the first one I know is satsang. Satsang would teach us to listen to our inner voice, and also give us reflective powers to decide what to do and not to do. And not to say that eventually when you get to the fourth realm, it'll become crystal clear on itself. A guide, mentor, or guru can help as well. I mean, today's presidents or ancient kings all seem to have had these advisors. And some of them used to be spiritual advisors. And, so because people who have tremendous power, have to have the second pair of eyes and ears so that they can intervene when things are going astray. Then learning from others. So having a support group where you learn from others. So finding what happened to others when they acted in a certain way, in a certain situation, can be learned from observing the society, even through books, movies, and other means. One of my mentors once said the company he used to work for, they used to ask them to watch some classic movies and get lessons of leadership from there, because they kind of dramatize it, but there are situations and how the leader, drives through those situations, like in The Gladiator, for example. Um, so, and then my classic. So I have my, points where I kind of go back to the Confucius code that, how do you acquire learning and wisdom? And that's by three methods. Um, through reflection, which is the most noble, through imitation, which is the easiest, and through experience, which is the most bitter. So I thought I'll just share that with you all as well. All right. So as we wrap up, Shivangi, OG, or Luz, any wrap up thoughts?
Namaste, Bhaiya ji. Namaste, everyone.
Sure.
Very good session today. This was very calming, very peaceful. I don't have any questions today. Maybe in the next session or tomorrow.
Sure. Sure. So is that you're so calm that you're above questions now?
Well,
I'm just pulling it. Nothing.
I've been attending for a month religiously. I don't think my progress is that quick that in a month. So I think it's a long ways away. So, but this is good. This is very good. I'm glad I'm here.
No, I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad you all are here. So the next session will be at 2:30. Um, so Yuan, would you be able to join at 2:30?
Yes, I will.
Okay, very good. And yeah, I will message you separately, and maybe we'll find some time when we can meet one on one.
Really, really good. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And Luz, as usual, happy that you're here. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm always, I can't even imagine missing this ever. I love this. It grounds my weekend. It's like something, it's become necessary to be here. I
So,
love
so a virtual hug for that.
it. Virtual hug back. And I hope all of you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I might not be able to make the 2:30, but if I can, I will.
How about tomorrow?
What time is it tomorrow?
10.
I might possibly be able to. But I might try to make it for today. I liked that you said you would bring some materials that you were talking about. I mean, I have some things, but I also feel like my meditation this morning was a little monkey brained. Actually, like I wasn't really totally able to focus. It was like in and out. And I feel like that's because during the week, this is really like the first time after a full week of hectic work that I'm still. And so it's hard to like it's hard to stem the flooding of all the thoughts. And so maybe 2:30 would be good because I've already had that. It's already happened, and now I can focus myself more. And generally I'm better in the afternoon. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make it for that. And you said you'd bring some interesting materials in reference to the pyramid that you were talking about. So I'd like
Yeah,
to
it's
do
just a phenomenal description of things that cannot be described.
that.
It's a interesting, yeah, very, very fascinating. And I was, saying it lightly, very lightly, but as soon as you mentioned the monkey brain, I said, like, what did you eat last night? So, so the thing is, Guru Maharaj actually, in multiple books, he has mentioned that there is a very significant effect of what you eat on your meditation. So
I believe it. Absolutely. It's so true. So true. Yeah.
so yeah, we have to, uh, yeah, eh, especially just before and maybe the day before, definitely matters. Does matter. But again, I was, it just, sometimes when people talk, I my, my monkey brain also goes all the It just finds different things, and I, find that to be very interesting. So OG, you've been very quiet. And Warren and everyone, Anit, Apurva, Himanshu, Minakshi, Onkar, Poonamji, Rajat, Sangeeta ji, Shiv. So namaskar to everyone. So we'll see you soon. So 2:30 is the next session, and 10 a.m. is the um, session tomorrow. So looking forward to it. I mean, I think we have kicked this off. The immersive weekend, I think, is definitely a very, very effective way to, get our monkey brains back into a peaceful state. So we'll see you again soon. Ciao.
Namaskar, bhai.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take
everyone.
care. Thank you.
Namaste, Bhaiya ji. Namaste, everyone.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Nam Chacha.
Namaskar.
नमस्कार भैया नमस्कार
नमस्कार रजत. नमस्कार. नमस्कार भाभी जी, संगीता जी, पूर्वा, मीनाक्षी,
Nam Chacha.
Warren, OG. I don't know what happened. Namaskar Shiv.
Namaste.
Namaskar. Namaskar. और संगीता जी कैसे हैं?
आदर प्रणाम भैया.
नमस्कार.
भैया.
नमस्कार पूनम जी.